Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you to all the friends of Finance Coach platform, Finance Coach BK platform all around the world. I can see some of my friends and mentees joining from Canada. Thank you for joining. To those joining from the UK, Dr. Koha, I can see you. Professor Chinedu, thank you everyone for working with me to make this workshop a success. I would start by saying congratulations to everyone that has joined in, because the next 4 days, inclusive of today, is going to make a difference in the lives of everyone who signed up and who shows up. No matter the age of the people around the call, no matter your stage in life, you're going to take away something positive from this workshop. I'm also looking forward to learning more. I want to hear the other speakers. I want to learn from their experience and sharpen my money skills as well. It's going to be fun. It will be exciting. We'll connect daily to learn to grow our wealth and how we can sustain, for those of us that think we already have financial freedom, how we can sustain the financial freedom that we have. And for those that don't have, how they can do things better so they can have financial freedom. I already said, please put in the chat box where you're joining us from today so that we can track. I won't say too much about myself. I believe there's enough on my pages online, but I just want to say that I'm one person who, since the year 2017, has an agenda to make sure that if I can kill poverty in the lives of people, then I will kill poverty in the lives of people. I want to increase the number of people who are financially independent and to reduce the number of people who are financially dependent. And so I work with, I work with people. Some of my partners are around the call. I have mentors. I have people who are also coaches and who are experienced people in their areas of, in their different areas of expertise. And we work together to sharpen the skills of anyone who agrees to be mentored. Today we're going to have 2 modules. I will introduce I will introduce financial freedom and financial fitness. And in a few minutes, at about 4:45 Nigerian time, our guest speaker for the event and the first speaker, the first guest of the event. I have 5 other people joining me and the guest speaker on this workshop. He will be joining us to share his experience and how he has worked to attain financial freedom and how he's working to sustain the financial freedom that he has. Thank you so much, everybody. I can see we're now 95 people around the call. I hope that I believe, not that I hope, I believe it's going to be a very useful session for everyone. Quickly, let me minimize this, get this out of the way. So we know the theme of the workshop. We know that it's a youth empowerment program for teenagers and young adults. We had one last year and we have good news. We have lots of testimonies for people that attended and whose money habits have changed and have put them in a better position. Sorry, I'm going to have to take out the music out of the way. Okay. So the one who have, I would introduce financial freedom and financial fitness, like I said, and then Teju Babyface will join us later to share his own experience with us. We also have speakers for day 2, day 3, and then the final on day 4. Quickly. Yeah, I can do that now. Okay. So I'm going to introduce financial fitness and financial freedom, and then Teju will share his experience down the road. Like I said, there are 5 other people, apart from myself and Teju. Dr. Okoha, who is on the call, would be sharing his experience too with us at some point. Yes, I have some of my people I call who hold my hands up to keep doing this without a lot of pressure on my own bottom line. I have received help, I will call it help, and donations from some people. And so we have a star prize for people who, for the serious ones amongst us, that's how I put it. So for you to be eligible to win the star prize or some of the consolation prizes, you have to attend all 4 days of the program. We have allocated points for each of the conditions to make you eligible to win. So if you attend all 4 days of the program, you would get 20 points for that. If you're among the first 30 to sign up every day, you'll get some points for that. And if you chat and you are active during each of the modules, you get some points for that as well. You also have to follow Finance Coach Online. If you follow Finance Coach Online, you get some points for that. And then the biggest of all, I'll call it the masquerade. At the end of the program, we expect you to share your financial plan with us. You send me an email to financecoachtoday@gmail.com. All of these details are available online. You share with us a summary of what you've learned from the 4 days, and then you also share with us your commitment on the actions you're going to take in order to achieve financial freedom or to retain financial freedom. If you're not already following, and it's not just because I want you to follow, but because I want you to consciously on a daily basis get some money tutorials that will keep you keep you gazing at financial fitness, putting it on the front burner. If you follow me online, I share tutorials, I share money skills on a daily basis. Yes, before we go on, I like to say that no matter what we share in the next couple of days, if you have a bad attitude, no one can help you. I love this quote so much by Thomas Jefferson. It says, nothing can stop the man with the right mental attitude from achieving his goals, and nothing on earth, no matter how many workshops and programs that we hold, if you don't have the right mental attitude, if you don't do the positive things, then if you don't take action, if you don't have the right attitude, then no one can help you. I hope that the 120 people around the call this evening will make sure that they have the right attitude so that the lessons that we're learning in the next 4 days will be useful to them. Today's outline, I've been told not to spend too much time. I hope to spend 30 minutes to help us understand financial freedom and financial fitness. I would talk a little bit about being deliberate and intentional, and then I will also guide us, the people around the call, on how to get financial education. And then I will talk about financial targets and financial plans and what I call the ESI model. I hope we can get to all of that, but if we can't, we would take them up maybe at the end on the closing. Now, financial freedom, it's the basis of this conversation that we're having this evening. And it is important that everyone around the call understands what financial freedom is about. If you understand financial freedom, it's very simple. Then you would understand all other things that the other speakers coming after me would teach. Financial freedom is not having a well-paid job. It's not the money that your big pay packet for today. It's the status of having enough money or income to pay your living expenses for the rest of your life without depending on someone. And it's, if you look at that, I always like to say without depending on someone or any active job. We'll get to it down the road. That's the goal. The goal is for everyone to achieve financial freedom. You want to have enough income to cover your living expenses. And let me see, I think I have the next slide that talks about it. And it's not active income. So it's not income, like I said, it's not your fat pay package. It's not big income from a very highly paid job. It is income that comes when your money begins to work for you. So the financial freedom that I am preaching, that I'm talking about this evening, is the one you attain when your money begins to work for you, excuse me, and not you working for money. When you have a fantastic job, you're still working for money. But when you put your money to work for you, and it gives you, when your money works for you, you earn what is called passive income. And when your passive income begins to exceed your expenses, your monetary requirements, then you have achieved financial freedom. Increasingly, we encourage people, and that's what I'm saying to everyone around the call this evening, increasingly, you must make sure that your passive income exceeds your active income. At some point in time, we all are going to start with active income. We're going to start with, except if you get an inheritance, we're going to start with an employment. Employment income is active income because you work to get that income. But increasingly, you have to make sure that the money you're getting from active income begins to do the work for you and not you doing the work. I have so many other explanations of this online on my pages, and you can always get back to me if there's anything that is not clear about this. But what we're saying is that in simple terms, financial freedom means getting to the stage where where you have enough money working for you, where your money begins to do the work and not you working for money. I think to further explain that, I like to differentiate between making money and creating wealth. When you make money, it's when you have a fantastic job, you're earning the big money. It's the money for now, okay? It's money that meets your short-term needs. And it's money that can stop, that can cease. However, if you create wealth, wealth is when the money itself is generating income for you. And so it's a different thing from making money and having a paid employment. What I'm saying is creating wealth is different from making money. So when you start off in life, for the young ones around the call, when you start off in life and somebody puts in his or her employment and you're making money, you haven't yet started creating wealth. You start creating wealth when your money begins to work for you. And then, of course, financial freedom is only attained when you are financially fit. And you can say, what is financial fitness? Financial fitness is applying the principles and the best practices to make sure that your money, you get the most out of your money. So money skills like planning your finances, saving right, budgeting, tax planning, investing right, insurance, and even to the skills like where you have to write your will and where you have to plan your estate. Those are all things that you need to be in control of to be financially fit. When you're financially fit, it means you're able to manage your money to meet your current and your future needs. You're able to direct your money to do the right things for you. It means you're in control of your money. And like I said, you're able to direct your money to work for you to attain that financial freedom that we are preaching. And I like to say to people always that financial fitness is a life journey because circumstances change, things change, the world is constantly changing. So you can't say, oh, I have at this point in time, my passive income can cover all my expenses. So I've arrived, and then you give up on doing the right things and making the right choices that keep you financially fit. So financial fitness is a life journey. The millionaires, the billionaires, they have to stay financially fit to make sure that they don't lose value, that they don't lose their money. So for those of us around the call, if you've never thought of it before today, it's important that you understand that financial fitness is something that you should put on the front burner. And when you're financially fit, that's when you can take the right decisions. That's when you can make the right choices to ensure that your passive income grows, to ensure that your passive income grows more than your active income. And then you can get to that place where you sit on the sofa and say, indeed, my money can now work for me. You can also say your money can work for you your money can work for you while you take a break. The second thing I want to talk about is that for you to get financial freedom and financial fitness, you have to be deliberate, you have to be intentional. Like you signed up for this workshop, for this program. Maybe if you're very young, if you're in the younger age grade around the call today, perhaps your parents encouraged you to join this program. It is because they want you to begin to take deliberate and intentional actions to work towards financial freedom. Being deliberate means being conscious of what, your choices, the decisions you make about your money. Every decision has a consequence. Every decision, every action that you take has a consequence. And every inaction, when you fail to do something, well, for example, I'm sure some of the speakers will talk about this later. If you don't do the basic thing that we call budgeting, that's an inaction. There are consequences of such inaction. So you have to choose wisely. You have to be deliberate. You have to put a focus on it. For those that are in school around the call, yes, it's good to go to school. It's good to get academic education, academic certification, and all the certificates that will work for us down the road. but it's also important to begin to think about money. If you're a student, you'll be given pocket money. How do you handle that? We have Professor Chinedu around the call. She'll be supported by one of my dear friends to speak to you about academics and how you can make a success out of that. These choices, you have to be deliberate and intentional. You have to understand that when you take a decision, a wrong decision, there are consequences. And when you do the right thing, there are also consequences. So we need to be deliberate and intentional. There isn't so much time to begin to talk and use practical examples, but we have speakers that will speak from their personal experiences in this workshop. But it's not everybody that is deliberate about and intentional about getting financial freedom or being financially fit. Some people just wake up every day and go to work. They have fantastic jobs. They go to work. They get a big pay package, and they just don't do the right things, and then realize too late down the road that time has been wasted. And that's why this. And I thank all my friends, the speakers that willingly, without even hesitating, agree to collaborate and work with me to empower the young ones that would be part of this workshop. It's very important to start to be deliberate and intentional from an early age, okay? It doesn't matter, at any age, you can begin to work towards financial fitness. At any age, you can begin to work towards financial freedom, but the earlier, the better. The earlier, the better. If you start early, then you don't make too many mistakes, because life is about making mistakes and learning from those mistakes. But if you start early to be deliberate and intentional about financial freedom and financial fitness, then the mistakes that you make will be, the impact will be less, and then you can achieve financial freedom faster. Like I said, it's never too late, because I also know that there are some older ones who signed up for this program. So if you haven't been deliberately working towards financial fitness before now, it's never too late. We're just saying that it's better to start earlier. And one of the things you need to do when you're working towards financial freedom is to look at yourself, check where you are, and that's what I mean by self-examination. Examine yourself and look at the bad money habits that you have and the good money that you don't have, and begin to take on the good habits while you take out the bad habits. It's also important to get professional help. If you're deliberate and intentional about financial freedom, the way I've defined it earlier on, then you would get more value and you get faster to financial freedom. Now, I'd like to ask a question, especially as this is targeted at young ones. What are you planting? We talked about deliberate choices and being intentional. If you want a better result, then you have to check what you're planting. Okay, it's what you plant that will decide and determine what you harvest. So if you want to change your fruits, you have to change the roots. And that's why we're starting, that's why we're having this program for the young ones, so that from now you begin to plant the right seed so that you can get the best fruit. And that fruit that we're looking for is financial freedom. We want everybody to be financially independent. This is one of the slides that I shared last year. And the only reason I put it again this year is because there may be some people around the call who don't come from very comfortable homes. It's important that when you're part of conversations like this, then you can say to yourself, it might have been difficult for my lineage before now, but I will begin to take the right decisions. I will begin to make the right choices so that I can change the financial circumstances of my family. Rema, I don't know if it's called Rima, but you all know him if you're young around the call, and even some older ones. He's a music artist, and he said he wants to change his he wants to be the one to change his family's financial situation. He says that's what propels him to work so hard, because generational wealth for his family, for his lineage, is starting from him. In other words, before him, his family probably isn't as wealthy as they should be. Now, quickly, financial education is very important. Financial education is very important. Sessions like we're having today If you want to have financial freedom and you want to retain your wealth, if you want to grow your wealth and retain your wealth, remember we talked about making money and gaining wealth, attaining wealth, creating wealth. There are different things. If you want to create wealth, you must be informed. There are some people around this call today who have investments across countries. So Carl is going to talk to us, and he's going to talk to us about how he has been able to invest around. You cannot be a serial investor having investments in different countries and geographical zones without being financially informed about what is happening in those areas. Now, let me break it down a little bit because we also have younger ones around the call. Financial education is different from what we learn in school. For those well, not necessarily for those following me, I am a chartered accountant and I'm a certified banker, but I didn't start learning so much about financial education until very late in life, in spite of being an accountant. So it is not by education, it is not by academics, it is by, like I said earlier on, being deliberate about it, and you must seek financial education. And sessions like this are very good for financial education. There are also other things you can do. You can subscribe for newsletters. You can also join world clubs. You can join investment clubs. You can also work with a coach and a mentor. It's very, very important. I'm sure you heard at the beginning of the conversation that I refer to mentors. I have some of them around the call. The people that I go to who I learn from, okay? And I'm a finance coach. I help people. I handhold people. I take people through the process of, no, don't do this, you do that. You want to move from, maybe you want to grow your wealth, move from a position of indebtedness to growing your wealth. I'll tell you, this is what you need to do. This is how to do it. Now, financial education, you can get through financial literacy. I think I have another slide to explain how you can get financial literacy. You can get financial education from finance coaches. Okay, so I encourage people around the call, follow as many as you can. It doesn't cost you anything. The time you're spending online, make sure that you follow finance coaches. And for the young ones, follow as many as you can all over the world, wherever they are, America, UK, Nigeria, follow as many coaches as possible. And then financial mentoring, look for someone who is your mentor, someone who can hold your hand, someone who you can learn from his or mistakes. Okay, now I put a question here because this workshop, even though I know I have a large number of older people who signed up, but the intention is that we work with the younger ones for these 4 days. So I put here and I say, how can a young person be financially literate? You can read good books. Now we're going to give out some books to those that are very active in this program. I said it earlier, you can join a world club, a teenager's world club or a young person's world club where the intention of that club or that group is to really mentor younger people. Now, YouTube is free. Just hit YouTube. YouTube is free. Listen to podcasts on money matters online. Read good books. I mentioned that we'll be giving out some books. These are some good books that you can read. The Richest Man in Babylon, The Psychology of Money, Rich Dad, Poor Dad for Teenagers. There's also Not Your Parents' Money. I Want More Pizza. These are books that will help you begin to sharpen your money skills and put you in control of your money. So quickly, I'm conscious of time. I talked about mentoring. You have to work with a financial mentor and a finance coach. I tried to explain that earlier on. A mentor will teach you, the strategies that you need to know and own based on his or her experiences. And this person will be your accountability partner, the person that will call you and ask you and remind you of the targets that you have set for yourself. Yeah, I think I put this here, and I said before you can begin something new, you first have to end what you unlearn the old way. So I think you need to put this on the front burner for these 4 days. When you listen to the speakers, I ask you to please ask yourself, compare your habits with whatever the speaker is talking about, and ask yourself, which of the habits do I need to take on? Which of the habits do I need to unlearn? I already talked about this earlier on. A finance coach will just handhold you and guide you. And a finance coach can also be your accountability partner. I'm conscious of the time, some of the habits that you have to unlearn, as you know, bad habits of not being financially educated. It is a bad habit. There's also mindless spending anyhow, you know, without being conscious of the implication of, you know, your expenses on your bottom line. You know, it's also bad not to work with a budget. These are just small. There are many more. Not saving is a bad habit. And then begin to learn the things that will help you to be financially free, that will help you to grow your wealth. Now, the first thing I want to talk about this evening is that it is important that you have a financial target and a financial plan. Okay, I see that we're 155 around the call this evening. Now, what's the financial target? The financial target is that is a money-related objective. What do you want to achieve over a period of time? Okay, what do you want to achieve with your money over a period of time? Your financial targets is what will guide you on how you do things with your money. Your financial targets can be short-term, mid-term, or long-term. Now, as a young person around the call, you can have all sorts of targets. You can decide when you want to stop living at home. You can decide where you want to end up. You can decide what you want to be in life. Do you want to be an entrepreneur? Do you want to be a business owner? Do you want to run your business, or do you want to be in paid employment for a certain period of time and then begin to run your own business? I'm going to have one of our speakers talk to us about running your business, owning your business, and entrepreneurship. So there are different kinds of targets that we can set, but it is important to have a target, because if you don't have a target, it means you don't know where you want to end up. And if you don't know where you want to end up, you won't like, or you may not like where you end up. So it's important to decide where you want to get to. These are some examples of financial targets and goals. You know, there's short-term goals are, money goals are the goals that you want to achieve within 12 months, within 1 year. Your midterm goals are the goals you want to achieve within, 1 to 5 years, while your long-term goals are goals that you want to achieve beyond 5 years. I can see a hand up. I don't know why it's up. If you can't hear, maybe you exit and then you come back in. Yeah, so it's important to have financial targets and financial goals, okay? The long-term goals are, goals, that's things you want to achieve that are longer than 5 years. Like I said, if you don't have financial targets or financial goals, it means you don't have an idea of how you want to end up. And I say it again, you may not like how you end up. So it's important to have a goal and work towards that goal. And when you have a financial goal, you also work with a financial plan. That plan is and this is where your finance coach comes in, and your mentor. They'll help you build a financial plan, and that plan is what will take you from where you are now to where you want to be. Your financial plan will include the strategies and the actions you need to take, how to manage your cash flow, your tax planning, the things you need to do to move from where you are to where you hope to be. We'll have Dr. Charity speak to us on Saturday about borrowing and credit, okay? And she will talk about borrowing and credit and how that will help us to grow wealth. Now, in your financial plan, your finance coach can help you, or with the help of a financial planner, tell you how much loan you need to take or how much debt you need to take in order to move and achieve your goals. Now, I'm not going to talk about that today because it's not part of what I have to speak about, but I expect that Dr. Charity will talk about it on Saturday. Not all borrowing is wrong. And I say that for the sake of the very young ones around the call. There is a way that borrowing is bad, but not all borrowing is bad. Now, financial planning is very important for financial freedom. Benjamin Franklin says, if you fail to plan, then you're planning to fail. It's just like what I was saying earlier on. You will not like where you end up if you don't decide where you want to end up. Quickly, running out of time. Yes, so I'll just wrap up with this one. Even if this is the only thing you take away today, the application of the ESI model in order to achieve financial freedom and grow wealth. The ESI model is an acronym that I use to simplify what I call the building blocks for growing wealth. That if every one of us around the call today, the whole 155 of us this evening, if we decide to work harder at earning more, saving better, and investing well, we will move to a higher level of financial of wealth. We'll move to a higher level of wealth, and there's no way you can become financially free if you don't apply this model. If you don't maximize the opportunities to earn more money, and if you earn this money and you don't save as well as you should, then you don't have what you would channel to your investments. Okay, we will be sharing the slides with as many people that want it. But one of the things I like to teach under earning more is that don't rely on just one source of income. It's very important to work towards having more than one source of income. So if you are in school and you're training to be a medical doctor, or you're in school and you're training to be an engineer, or you're in school, you're training to be an accountant like me, you must also begin to think beyond the income that you're expecting from the skills that you're learning in school. So it's important to have more than one source of income. And people that are wealthy, people that grow their wealth, people whose passive income increasingly exceed their active income, don't rely on one source of income. It's also important that you make good use of your time, okay? But I want to focus on multiple streams of income here. Now, because I have very young people around the call, I'm trying to illustrate this with people that I know that you're used to. It's so funny, really, but it took me a long time before I knew that Wizkid was the one that is called Starboy. And I used to teach so many young people. It took me a long time. Anyway, so you have Starboy here, who we all know is a musician, as a singer, but he's making so much money from endorsements and from advertisement. I'm not his financial planner. I'm not his wealth expert. So, but I do expect also that he will be highly invested, and Dr. Kalu will talk to us about this. He will be heavily invested in other areas he'll be heavily invested in other areas that will be generating income for him beyond all the money that the young ones pay him to view or to stream his music, his songs, or when he has shows. He, for example, is an ambassador for UBA. He is an ambassador for Pepsi, and they pay him huge money. Okay, so he's not relying on that. And Simi endorses Nine Mobile, and I think this is Opera. I think they're a news company. Simi endorses them and gets money from that. She does not sit at home and says, I've made so much money from, what's that, her favorite song? I think it's Juduke. And just sits back. No. So it's very important. And if there's anything you're taking away from my session this evening, I know Teju will come and talk to us very soon. I think it is the fact that, especially for the young ones, that please take it away this evening that if you want to be a very wealthy person and you want to grow your wealth, you cannot sustain or become very wealthy with just one source of income. You must have more than one source of income. Of course, the footballer is there. You can see him endorsing. And Rihanna also, she has a beauty line. She sells beauty products. Okay, yes, the actress Funke Akindele, that's her name. I don't know if it is true, but I hear she's heavily invested in this estate in Lagos, Amen Estate, and you can see her endorsing Dettol. Okay, we shared this one last year. These are artists. They all have other sources of income apart from the music that they are into. Now, we don't have much time to argue over Warren Buffett's quote this evening, but I'll put it on the table. And Warren Buffett is a very, very wealthy man. You can Google him if you've never heard his name before. And he says, there's a quote that's been attributed to him where he says, if your salary is your only source of income, then you're one step away from poverty. I think it's a quote that you can decide to, you can agree with or disagree with, but please consider it and reflect over it. But the bottom line of my teaching this evening is that don't ever think you will become wealthy with one source of income. Quickly, the other one out of the ESI model is saving. We don't have much time anymore, but what you have to bear in mind is that it's important that you put something away as savings, even no matter how much you earn, you must put away something as savings. And if you're already saving around the call, you must push yourself to want to save better. Push yourself to want to save better. There are ways of getting and improving your savings and your, there are ways of saving better. If you have a financial plan and you work towards it, you have a financial target and you work with a budget and you track your expenses, you definitely can save better. Now, Tony Robbins is also is a motivational speaker, he's a life coach, and he says, if you change nothing, nothing will change. So if you're not saving well and you don't take actions to improve that, or if you're not taking actions to earn better, you're just going to remain at the same level. So whatever we put forward in this 4-day conversation, remember that you need to take action. You must take necessary action to achieve your financial targets. Yes, I got this from one of the people who mentor me, and I will just play it for some seconds while I take my water break. Yeah, can you please put in the chat box what you saw from that clip? I'll play it again. I hope the chat box is, looks like it's only the panelists. Anyway, please put in the chat box what you can see. The recording will show the comments later, because I know it's one of the conditions that we put for the star prize. So please put what you what you can deduce from this short clip.
Can I speak?
Yes, please.
Yes, they can't type on the chat box because
yes, I'm just in a comment from Dorcas. Okay, I will correct that later. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So we can see from this short clip, you can see what the person with the poor mindset is doing, eating all of his seed and everything and his fruit, and then looking down the road, the person who is watering his own plant and waiting for it to, who is making all the sacrifice now so that he can be wealthy down the road. If you don't take the decisions you need to take right now, if you don't make the right choices right now, I pray that actually that none of us around the call will end up like the person on my right, who eventually begins to look up to the person on the left. So your choices, your decisions are all that will determine how you end up. I'm going to have to move to the next one. Yeah. So remember we said ESI model is earn more, save better, and invest well. Under invest well, I think what I just want to put on the table, and you know, there are so many, we've had conversations about investing well and doing all of this, and we have them all, some of the recordings on my YouTube page. But if you're a young person, for example, if you're a young person around the call this evening and you're wondering, what are the things that I need to do to make sure that I invest very well? There are so many things you can do, but I like to point out that the most important one is how do you want to end up? That's what will determine, what you're doing. How do you want to end up? Okay, there are so many elements. Your liquidity requirements are also things that will determine what you invest in. But I also say to people, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Diversification is very, very important. And then also, if you want to invest right and you want to invest well, make sure that you work with a professional. So there are so many things, but I leave you with the ESI acronym, and I say, because the whole I can teach you what to make you financially free in 1 hour, but I can force you to ask questions. I can put things on the table that will force you to ask questions and to want to learn more, and that's why I also have people with different experiences coming to talk to us in these 4 days. I wanted to listen to people from different areas and with different experiences so that you understand what you need to do. I already put it on the table. You can learn. If you learn and you don't take action, then you're cheating yourself. I also put it on the table already that if you're not focused, if you're not determining where you want to end up, that's your target or your goal, where do you want to end up financially, you will not like where you end up. Okay, I think I need to put it here because I don't want to overshoot my time. Now, how are we going to unravel this issue now? If I can get comments. Okay, you can put comments in the question and answer box, I think. Yes. Oh, the chat box is disabled. I apologize. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Dave. Okay. So, but you can put your comments. I would check the setup later and make sure that the chat box is open. But if you put your comments in the question and answer box, we'll take your comments there. Thank you so much. Do you have, if you have questions, can I? Oh, Amma Nsika Abasi, I do apologize. She wants the slides because I was going so fast. Because I want to leave enough time for Teju. I don't want to eat into his 1 hour because he will be joining us in a few minutes. Yes, we will share the slides with everyone who has signed up. We will share the slides with you. Okay, excellent. That was very smart of you, John Alabi. Because the chat box is disabled, he put his comments in the question and answer box, and he says, I can see on the video that one man is watering his investment and allowing it to grow despite his initial fruits, while the other man is eating his fruits as it shows. Excellent. Thank you so much. Ipaye Abdullah says, I see that a poor person is more focused on the instant reward rather than thinking long-term. Thank you. I'm going to give you the title of Finance Coach Ipaye and Finance Coach John Alabi. What other comments do we have? You can comment their question options. Thank you so much. I would work on the chat box later. There's a question. How can we make money as a teenager in Nigeria at the same time going to secondary school, especially if one is in a crucial class like SS2? Chiamaka Achuku, thank you so much for your question. I'm going to keep your question for Dr. Kalu's session. But there are many ways how you can make money. And the reason why I'm keeping your question for Dr. Kalu's session is that Dr. Kalu made his first million while he was still in college. I didn't say his first $1,000, his first million naira while he was in college. And I'm so eager to hear that. I didn't make my first million while I was in college. I wish I did. And that's why I said I'm also going to learn in these 4 days. Yeah, so thank you, everybody. Emanuela Uwakwa, do you have creative idea tips? We would get back to you, but there's so many things that this session is to push you to get out of your comfort zone.